Hi, my name is Charlene Rochard, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak during the 24 hours Epstein Files Filibuster Livestream here in the Trump Reading Room. Keeping this story alive matters, and I'm grateful to contribute my voice. I want to take a moment to share why it is so important for me to be here today. I stand before you not only as a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking, but as a legislative advocate, someone who has turned her lived experience into a force for policy change and protection. I'm grateful to use my voice, my expertise, and my lived experience as a trafficked model to help shape the reforms that are long overdue. Every time I have the chance to speak, I'm working to strengthen laws, oversight systems, and protections I never had when I was a young model trying to build a career. For years, survivors like me were treated as collateral in the Epstein case, silenced, dismissed, and excluded from the very processes that shaped our lives. Standing here today represents a meaningful shift. This reading room transforms documents into something human again. These files are often discussed as headlines, politics, or internet discourse. But behind every page is a real person, a real life, and experiences that do not disappear when we finish reading. For the public, the files are just information. For us, these are memories, bodies, fear, confusion, and grief. I am here with firsthand knowledge of how this trafficking network operated, and with a voice that contributes to what happens next. My presence signals that no survivors are no longer being kept outside the conversation, but are finally being included in the work of accountability and reform. I'm here because these files contain pieces of stories like mine. The story of a young model who was trafficked through Epstein's network without understanding the danger she was in. My presence is a reminder that these pages are not abstract. They are lived lives, real trauma, real institutional failures. They also contain investigative leads, patterns, connections, and unanswered questions that deserve serious attention and continued examination. As I review these files, I ask that you too also examine institutional breakdown leads, grooming tactic leads, enablers leads, financial leads, and the blind spots that must be addressed if we want meaningful reform and a safer world for my children, your children, and future generations. This is the core of my legislative advocacy, and my role today is part of a broader effort to ensure that what happened to me and to so many others is never allowed to happen again. Epstein was able to operate his trafficking network with consistent access to large amounts of cash and financial professionals who helped facilitate those transactions. These files include bank statements, withdrawal requests, and communications tied to Jeffrey Epstein's financial network. More than $1.5 billion in suspicious transactions connected to Epstein network were reportedly flagged across multiple major financial institutions. Here are just a few investigative leads. Document EFT A01352452. As discussed with Stu, Mr. Epstein or Mr. Indyke are currently able to make a large withdrawal of $100K or more from the personal account before the branch officially closes on February 1st. The bank will need advance notice on this transaction. Document EFT A01346124. This is called a large withdrawal. The branch says the cash will be ready for pickup Wednesday afternoon. Is the delivery of $100 bills are expected to arrive early morning? The lawyer replies, let's do Wednesday, as we prefer $100 bills. Document EFTA 02298649. Jeffrey does need $6,000 in his black bag. Redacted. Says he has no money, equals in there. Rich brought money and you could get it from him. We cannot change what happened, but we can decide whether we are willing to examine the systems that allowed it to continue in plain sight. Thank you.